Hey guys, it is time for a new What I Ate Today. It has been a while. Lots of really delicious, healthy stuff here, so that's cool. And of course, I'm gonna start with coffee. But yeah, so coffee to start with, drinking this delicious shade grown coffee that I mentioned in some video. I can't remember which. I think the Freely one that I did recently. It's the Java Topia brand, I think is what it's called. And I forgot what blend I drink. It's one of the medium roasts, but yeah, it's pretty delicious. Some Splenda in it, of course, and some unsweetened soy milk. So next I had a smoothie, pretty tasty smoothie. I feel like something's missing from the smoothie. It's almost like it's really good, but it's just kind of flat. I feel like it needs maybe some more like tartness or something. I feel like a little bit of orange juice would be really delicious in this, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I put 1 frozen banana, 1 cup of frozen wild blueberries, 1 cup of soy milk, again, the unsweetened silk soy milk, 1/4 cup of nuts. I used half and half almonds and walnuts, 1 tablespoon of chia seeds, and some cinnamon. And I didn't actually drink all of this. I drank like 3/4 of it or so, and then my partner had the rest. Next, I had some whole garlic stew is what I call it. It's my variation on a recipe from Fat Free Vegan. I love her recipes. It's really funny. I think another one of these, no, 2 other recipes for this day come from her, and I've just kind of changed them a little bit to add more fat, of course. She's just a really good cook. I mean, I've made a lot of her recipes as written and kept them low fat, and they are still delicious. So, I mean, I have no problem with low fat recipes, just not all the time, because fat is good. Plant fats are like pretty healthy. So I don't know. It's mostly like no oil, so she doesn't like saute with oil, which is fine. I mean, look, if you're looking to cut calories, that's a good place to do it. But I think things are a lot tastier sauteed with oil. So like for the garlic stew, I saute with a little bit of oil, saute the onions. Oh, I don't add the lemon. She adds lemon and parsley. I don't do that. Yeah, I think for that one, that's all. I just saute with oil. I don't add any more fat or anything. But man, it is just the most delicious thing. Leaving the garlic whole, it just makes it really, it ends up really sweet, savory, but not like roasted garlic. It's its own thing, but it's just so delicious. And the beans, because you really have to start with already cooked beans. You don't have to use, she calls for canned. You can use just, beans that you've cooked yourself, but I've tried making it with dry beans, and it's okay, but they don't get like really broken down. It makes the soup almost creamy when you use beans that are already cooked, and then you let it cook for that hour and let them get really broken down. It makes the soup pretty creamy and just, oh man, so good. Next, I had another really awesome thing. These just super delicious granola bars. These are actually a variation, not even, I mean, I think they're pretty much completely different now. I've changed them so much, but they started as the Feel Good, I think it's Feel Good Hearty granola bars from Oh She Glows. I made those, I thought they were okay, and I made just a bunch of changes. So she uses a lot of banana. I cut the banana by like a lot and replaced it with peanut butter because of course I did. And let's see, the oats, she ground up the oats, which I didn't like. It ended up with this kind of chewy texture that I didn't really like, so I keep the oats whole. And what else do I do? I think, I actually use a little bit of maple syrup, again, to replace the sweetness from the banana. And I don't know, I feel like a bunch of other things, but yeah, so I also toast the oats and the nuts, so it takes a little bit more time, but it tastes, I think, significantly better if you just take the time to do that. It really doesn't take that much time to do it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And it is just so good. And it's not super sweet, it's just sweet enough. And they're actually pretty darn healthy in terms of all the nuts and the seeds and the hemp seeds in there, lots of omega-3s. And yeah, they're just my favorite thing ever. And they've helped me finally stop eating so many peanut butter filled pretzels, which I was just kind of living off of. So I've gotten rid of those and I'm just eating these instead, and I feel pretty good about it. Okay, next I had another coffee. So only 2 coffees a day. That's pretty good because I was having like 3 coffees a day. So I'm finally cutting back to 2 a day. And then at some point in the hopefully not too distant future, I will cut back down to 1 a day, like I used to do. Next, I had another fat-free vegan. This is the curried, I forgot what she called it, but it's basically like a curry soup with cauliflower and sweet potato, and it is just so delicious. This is one I change. I do add more fat. I saute with oil, and then I think she uses like 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. I use like 2 or 3 tablespoons of peanut butter, and I also double the chickpeas in it. That is one thing, you know, I think most people use soups as like part of a meal, right? Like you have soup and salad or soup with bread and like other things, whereas I'm too lazy for that kind of thing. Like if I'm making a food, it better fill me up. Like if I have a meal of it, it better be a meal, because I don't like having multiple things. I just want one thing that I can eat and I can be full. So yeah, I typically will take recipes if I'm making someone else's recipe and it's like 1 cup of beans and I'm like, maybe 3, and I'll just like significantly increase the beans so I can make it really, really hearty and satisfying. Okay, next I had some strawberries, just a few strawberries with some Splenda on them, of course. It's so funny when I think back to when I was a kid and when I would eat fruits, and I'm sure my mom was just so happy that I was eating fruit, but what I would do is like I would get a whole bowl of strawberries and then I would have 2 little ramekins, and one was full of whipped cream and the other was full of sugar. I would just alternate dunking a strawberry in whipped cream and sugar, and like again, I'm sure my mom was just like so proud, so happy that I was eating fruit, but I mean at that point I'd probably be better just having like a small bowl of cereal versus, who knows, probably tablespoons of sugar at that point. Anyway, next I had another fat-free vegan recipe. This is her healthy hash brown casserole. It is so, so, so good. I changed it up a little bit. I use broccoli instead of kale because I'm just kind of done with kale. I used to really like kale, but I don't know, it kind of, I'm still having some problems with vegetables. I think left over from pregnancy, and really the only ones that I like now are broccoli. I like asparagus too, but yeah, mostly in terms of green vegetables, it's just broccoli. I'm just not into the stringiness of kale. So yeah, I changed it with, I used broccoli and I liked that a lot better. I also increased the fat, and I think she only uses like 1/4 cup of cashews. I use like 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup of cashews, and I reduce the cornstarch because she uses like 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, which is ridiculous. That's just sugar essentially. So I reduce it to just a tablespoon. Again, this is kind of, you know, I don't know. It makes me laugh. These kind of low-fat people, they're so willing to use things like that and increase like sugar content and refined stuff over just like some extra fat. I don't know. It just kind of makes me sad because it's way more delicious. Like I've made it the low-fat way, oh my gosh, several times, and it's tasty. I really like it. It's why I kept making it. But man, increasing the cashews, so much better. Okay, and well, not almost last. So this is where things kind of went off the rails. So this giant bowl of popcorn, I ate half of this, and it's a lot of calories. I didn't realize how many calories it was until like I put it into Chronometer to see, and yeah, it's like 500 calories if you count the popcorn, of course, and then we use canola oil, so if you count that, and then we put nutritional yeast on it, which is so good. Gosh, it is so delicious. I ate like 500 calories of that, and that is just absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, I'm breastfeeding, so I'll defend it that way, but it's a little bit ridiculous. So next time I should have like probably 1/4 of that amount, right? Yeah. And then last but not least, I did have another one of those granola bars because they were just so delicious. So yeah, pretty good day, pretty delicious day. Definitely over 2,000 calories, but again, I am breastfeeding, so yeah. Oh, supplements. I still take my prenatal every day. I still take the Diva DHA every day, again, since I am breastfeeding. and I do take extra vitamin D as well. I actually use D3. The cheapest I've been able to find that uses the VitaShine D3 is this Doctor's Best. You can get it on Amazon and it's very reasonably priced, so I use that. Oh, and extra choline, again, because I am breastfeeding and I take that like every other day. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Of course, comments or questions down below. And if you want to share what you ate today, of course, you can do that too. That's pretty neat. And if you want to subscribe, of course, you can subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so at patreon.com/unnaturalvegan. Thank you so much to everyone who does support the channel. It is just greatly appreciated. And thank you so much to these patrons in particular. And I guess that is it. I should have a new video pretty soon.